Let me
Oh,
know
okay,
where the
no.
buttons are.
Cool.
That's so
Awesome.
funny.
We'll have to go through this other one.
Oh,
too.
awesome. Good thing Maddie showed us all the smart things.
Our
Yeah.
neighbors.
Maddie's coming.
It's a year, 2 years.
Oh, Maddie's gonna make it. She said
Work somewhere.
later, probably.
Yeah. But like a man's clothing, like.
He's so cozy.
Right. More of a Duluth
I like
trade.
it, lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. around.
Cool,
We're on the
well, that's
same
awesome.
level.
Yeah,
Okay,
congrats. Is that
6
your
o'clock,
first,
Debbie,
like,
how we doing?
real-
I'm fine.
Oh,
I did.
All right.
First show was a haunted
I
house.
think
Yeah,
we're
I
ready
just
to
was
start.
trying to double check that I have the right one.
Okay.
If I get started, will that
Okay.
that one says the 16th,
Just,
Chris?
And that's the wrong one. Here, I just got the
Yeah,
right
they
one.
really want me to work.
I just only find
Gotcha.
in the,
Yeah, it's just.
just let me change it out real quick.
Hold
I
this.
did just send it in your-
I got that.
They were very.
And I'm going to stop sharing.
Yeah.
So we also went in the day and get struck back.
If I
We'll see
can.
what happens.
Yeah, I was the first high school I ever hired.
Hmm.
They don't go into stand-up.
Mhm.
This is they just had no
Can you
clue.
tell us?
At the- Bartels?
Mhm.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. What was the scene?
Okay, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah,
are we ready?
Yep.
College is great. 'cause you could-
All right, gentlemen,
Right.
we're getting ready to start.
I'm Born ready.
All right, welcome everyone. We're gonna call this meeting to order. It is Tuesday, May 17th, and we are at the special board meeting study session. And I would like everyone to please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So tonight, we have a special board study session followed by an executive session. And the first item of business is a roll call. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Director Ray,
Yep, I'm right here.
Director Kelly,
She was gonna be on Zoom. I'm not sure she's here yet. She was leaving work at 5.
second producer, Director Kingman, President Levesque, here, Director Knapp,
Here.
Student Advisor Andrich, Student Advisor Schroeder,
Here.
Superintendent Sweet.
Here.
Next, we just need an approval of our agenda. May I please have a motion to approve the agenda?
I can move for the agenda.
It's been moved and seconded to approve tonight's agenda. May I please have a vote?
Director Ray,
Aye.
President Levesque,
Aye.
Director Knapp.
Aye. All right, our agenda is approved. Next, we'll have our welcome and overview of the evening by Dr. Sweetie.
Well, welcome, everybody. Glad everybody's here. Glad we have everybody back from a trip. And then hopefully Sherry and like Keenan will be able to join us. So tonight, for the first part of the evening, we're going to come together and talk about our work as a board team. And the first part of that is assessing where we are with our board goals. So engage in an activity for that. And then to review our self-assessment assignment, which some of you have done it already, but this is the opportunity to answer any questions of new board members that haven't done it. And then also look at the proposed regular board meeting schedule and the proposed study session schedule for next year. So we're planning forward. Then we'll take a brief break and then we're going to, the board would move into an executive session. So, anyway, you're welcome to stay, but when we go to executive session, when we are finalized there, then we'll come back just to adjourn. And the purpose of the executive session is for the evaluation of myself, the superintendent. And that's it.
Yeah.
So I think we'll get started. So for the goals, so in your packet, in your folders, you have on the, I think it's on the right side, you have the board and superintendent goals on a sheet. And I actually I had put colors on the back of your folder, so it's gonna, what color? I was gonna put you in groups of 2, different color. What color? Blue?
Blue.
Oh, good, you're right together, so you're together. Now, what color are you, Mark?
Oh, I'm blue as well.
Well, no, you can, you'll be with Kyle.
Oh, perfect.
So what you're
Any of
going
us
to,
here.
It's so color, so
I'm
pretty.
also blue.
so what you're going to do is just for right now, just for the board goals. So there are 5 of them and you have them in front of you. You're going to talk it over between the 2 of you and you're just gonna, I mean, some of these may not have any idea what we've done on this, and that's okay, because this is just an assessment. This actually helps us to see where we might make our goals in August. So in August, we'll redo our goals. These goals were based on our self-assessment last year, so they were developed by even members that aren't even part of our team right now. So, but I want you to mark tentative marks. If you think it's completed, if you think that we are working on it, okay, we're moving, I mean, it doesn't matter how fast, but we're working on it, but it needs work. In other words, we really haven't quite started, to your knowledge. So, and what we'll do after this is then we're going to, there's a slide for each one of these, and we're just gonna go to each slide after you've done your, and we're gonna hear from the groups, what you think, where we're at. And we're just gonna collect that data, and we're gonna bring that data to the August retreat to see where we're at. And also, if there's something on here you really think we should not do, then maybe it's not at this point, you know, we can discuss that as well. So, all right, so go ahead and just, I think, to get us through all, like, if you are aware, so when you look at these, are you aware of any action that anyone on the board has taken towards that goal? You know, like it might be one of us, or it might be, has there been any movement towards that at all? Or if you have a question, just put a big question mark, you know? So I'll set the timer for 10 minutes and we'll see where we're at.
Okay.
Okay.
Just on, yeah.
So crowded in here. Definitely.
Let's see, so.
Are you ready for that? No. I did the. Did you do the superintendent, but not until what?
No.
I haven't shown my yet.
Great.
Chris, did you send out the board self-assessment survey recently, or was it a while ago?
We do it, we're gonna,
We haven't done it yet.
No, no.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So it's based on all of the
Okay.
standards.
On
Yeah.
that
and
one, I have done a lesson out of that.
Gotcha.
We did the equity one.
Someone go anywhere.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know what the. You know, the onboarding training. Yeah. So laws that puts on a bunch of different trainings.
And keep in mind, these are up to the 10th. I think the intent of this is that the board.
Okay.
I think.
All right.
They want to have.
Okay. But it's some more.
Right, yeah.
Okay, there's a bunch of different.
I mean,
There's one on
to me, there's a lot of presentations, a lot of information.
Okay, ones that they haven't.
Which,
Right.
you know,
I
without.
haven't seen a lot of them.
It encompasses all
Okay,
this.
so we did, but every board member is supposed to go to.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I've learned a lot. Great, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely.
So
We're not there.
Working on it.
No, probably never be there.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, maybe
Yes.
you're there.
No, I think working
Okay.
on it, definitely.
I definitely.
It's a step forward.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Anybody's
Right.
there, it's probably.
Yeah, like we have done.
Okay, okay.
Okay, as long as you understand what the onboarding training modules from last time are.
Right,
they are. Okay, yeah.
Success.
And I haven't seen any. So are you new?
Yeah.
announcements
So
of when
this
these
was,
are?
the
Yeah.
intent for this, the board wanted to increase people's knowledge of the budget process. And
Right.
so wanted to do more. Well, we do a hearing, so we can say, yes, we do a hearing.
Yep.
And I'll tell you some inside information that Gina has just now, this is about our interest, not with the community, but with members of the aliens to meet
Right.
with the fiscal person and the president. She's never done that before.
Okay.
And she's done 2 already. She does 2 tomorrow and 2 on Friday. That's great.
I think so.
So that's part of that, but
Yeah.
I think that we're probably need to work on that some more.
Yeah.
So we're working on it just very recently.
The only one I was thinking
Yeah,
was
Okay.
well, I mean, we did in August, we did the budget here,
not
Right,
all of
right.
us are.
but that we wanted to be very.
She presents a lot of information.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, so I mean,
Right now,
I'm almost like, can you continue to do that, right? I mean, people can always.
Yeah,
comment
so,
on
yeah.
those things, So,
I think needs work means we haven't done anything. Right.
you know,
I've done it like at least once.
I don't know if
Right.
we're doing more
Mhm.
than we did before. I don't have
Yeah.
that parameter in my mind. It seemed like,
I think she's doing that
Some of
in
us.
the meetings,
okay,
but I think the intent of this is with our public.
sure, yeah, it's a
So,
really good
yeah.
job. Yeah.
And like the video, I've been pressing, them, like, let's do a video.
What do you think?
She's like, I think we're working on it, but we're not there. It's
No,
just another-
She's got a lot of
Is there,
skills.
like, typical,
Yeah. But like, I think being in front of the camera is not her strongest.
or is it
She's
pretty
like-
difficult?
What's that?
She's another.
Totally.
Phenomenal.
Totally. I don't need her to be really great.
I want more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
need more. I don't think we're, I mean, I
And they've been-
needs
We're
work.
working on
Jason, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's doing some stuff, right? Working on it. I'm always working on it.
outreach and
Yeah.
their opportunities. Yeah, yeah, didn't do as much. Okay,
This-
later.
If you think about what happened last
Throughout
night,
their time.
We had a great-
15
Yeah.
we need more.
years.
Yeah. there's a
We did
lot
a
of
lot
good
of these things.
information.
Okay.
Sure.
so I know that, I know that you
No,
can
just
be on this.
started and it's
Like
like,
that,
we're
and
here.
that's not-
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're
So,
so,
we're so
we're working on it for sure and
So
continue.
this one's just a
Yeah, that's
budget process. Okay.
It's good.
And
Design information.
And Carrie,
How did
she
you do that?
presented some information during our strategic.
to ask for
updates,
the
Mhm.
public
She was sharing where we were on our meeting.
Right.
for ratings.
Right.
But nobody's, nobody said anything about the last one.
No.
What does that mean in person?
But we're gonna be up
Right,
there.
so-
It'll be good. I've already seen the next results, so.
Okay. Are you better?
They're going.
I think that's
They're
like
not
not
100%
your
no.
show on the road and going around.
Okay.
Okay, take your second road show.
Just like going out and touring, like going to present like at a Rotary or
Oh,
at
okay. Oh,
a,
gotcha.
someplace where the public can come and hear about our budget.
Okay.
And we do a public hearing.
Right.
August.
So we're not like visiting all the senior centers and
No, I don't
community
know.
centers and talking about schools budget or anything like that.
I was telling Mike that one of the things that she started
Not yet.
in-
Gotcha.
trying to do better in this area is, well, first of all, she's increased her
Yeah.
presentations on her meetings.
Every month.
Like that, it's been
Yeah.
great. But this week she started meeting with, at schools, with
Okay.
the principal and the fiscal person. And she did 2 today, and they went great, just have those conversations.
Yeah.
And clear language, clear understanding, and she has 2 tomorrow and 2. So that's a start.
Okay.
But the intent of this goal is for our community.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Okay. pretty sure that when it says on goal E3, 2021 to 2020,
Yeah. that's a
it
really
should be 21, 22.
Oh,
Yeah, that's just like.
good.
Yeah. It was.
The other-
2021 because
We'll do
20,
this first.
21, 22, because these are the goals that were set. Right, but it says 2021 and all this one says 21. Oh, sorry. Number 3, just didn't get updated.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
And I think we're.
I thought
working
I
towards
thought I
that because
picked
we- Public hearing. I don't think we can force the public to comment on the budget.
Well, no,
They
we
don't
can
know.
make a lot of different ways that they might be able to.
If we give all the opportunities.
So where are you? What's the status?
We're on 3.
Okay,
We were,
Well,
that does massive
okay, we might-
discussion on the
we
road.
might
shows.
turn over and go to
Have we
Okay,
thought about,
you're
like,
way
the,
ahead.
Gina doing things, have we thought about doing bilingually? Yeah.
the, write down that idea.
Yeah.
Not per person, but you can have. it.
No, but somebody's got,
I mean,
we have a Spanish teacher, don't we?
But we have a good interpreter. model.
Okay, perfect, yeah.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
No, that's right. One of the things in our equity audit, we're wanting to make sure things are being translated. Try not to get too close to that.
No,
Not COVID,
you never know.
not by chance. All they
I
just.
think it's all,
Oh, I'm stealthy.
Everything's still.
Could test negative and
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
Jeremy's pretty smarter than
They just assume you'd be ashamed of this work again.
Are you seeing that?
I sense a little bit of sarcasm.
No, it was a
Never
couple
miss
weeks
work.
ago, that's why I missed. Yeah, understand.
Okay, so
Okay, well,
I was just.
Yeah, just
I don't
ask
think
them
that
really break and that's
Or not.
We're right, but
right, totally,
And at
yeah,
least two,
okay.
so maybe, I think that we have at least one foot in the right direction with that.
over here.
I believe there's every board members who have participated
With the
in
feedback.
voices, and I know you've been to student voices.
Good community.
You did community voices.
And then, and also,
Brother-
Were
just
you
to
invited to staff voices?
Yeah.
Staff voices?
It's virtual.
Opportunity
It's
for that.
virtual.
I don't think we've been invited to that.
Except this Wednesday, tomorrow, I'm doing something different. For our district leadership team, before COVID, I would invite them before the meeting to do leadership voices. And we haven't done it, so tomorrow, the whole afternoon or a chunk of the time is leadership voices.
Oh,
So
okay.
if anybody wanted to swing by,
What time is that?
it's at, so we're doing a team building, it starts at 1:30, but we do a team building activity, and I do a few updates and then we do it. So if you're there, you can come at 1:30, you can see, it's on Zoom, so I can just send you the Zoom link.
Okay.
And then I'll let them know,
Tomorrow, but
if
maybe
any of you
we can
join,
later.
I'll let them know.
Can we join later? After
I
1:30?
think you can only have two.
Okay,
Yeah,
because then we have a plan.
Right.
I'm working, I won't be here.
Yeah, I'm working. I work till 2:00. I could
Well,
join
join
later.
after that.
Okay,
Join that.
okay.
Debbie, could you send her the Zoom link for the DLT meeting tomorrow? I think Brenda has it.
That'd be good. I mean, any
So,
opportunity is really.
Yeah, and what that is we'll ask them the same questions. What's
Yeah.
working, what's not,
Sure.
what suggestions, and they'll be, it'll be interesting because we've got a trust level that will be very transparent.
Good.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're gonna go
Review what
on.
we talked about, or
Okay, here's the goal one, and this has to do with increasing our understanding about these modules, these onboarding and different modules, training modules that laws have. And they just brought them on board last year or during last year. And so what are your thoughts on this?
oh, I am so new. So, we did the conference in November,
Right.
and then I did hear of the equity, training that you do, and then Carrie did up north. But I haven't seen too much come through as far as like emails from WASA talking about opportunities. I did see the equity, opportunity come through, but other than that, I guess I'm wondering how to, search for that when I want to, like through WASA. I'm still learning how to navigate, their website and their calendar and all of that, and sign up for all the alerts.
Yeah.
So,
And there is a new law that requires school board members to be, it's either if you're newly elected in the first 2 years, or if you've been elected, it's in the first term. So every term, basically, you have to engage in 2.5 hour trainings on equity, and that's contrary responsive. And we went through the first 2.5 hours, and I imagine.
interesting.
Right, it's pretty intro. And then there's an additional requirement in your term that is another 2.5 hours in another area. So they have developed modules. There's modules on business, budgeting and business equity. I think learning, like best practices for learning, governance. So you would find out information on the WASDA website.
It is not easy, and I every time. Okay.
But I think as a board, that was a robust goal that we had, because that takes a lot to get 2 of those modules done. So even if each of us did one, in the next year, that'd be great. So something to think about for August. I definitely think, I mean, it's not all of us have started, but some of us have. Needs work, for sure. Okay, so that one's a needs work. The next one is, as goal 2, is that this is basically focused on, the intent here was to increase the board's knowledge of best practices, best learning strategies and practices. And so I know, Mike, you might want to share, you shared an article about that. Well, number 2, how you look at that as a board member, how you learn about that. And Kyle too, who said,
Well, I mean, I know that we are, a lot of information shared with us on, most, if not every board meeting about some type of educational thing going on, which is rightfully so, right? So, I mean, I just feel like, I have certainly learned more this year, in the previous year, just as what is going on and what are the best practices, how are those being implemented, and what the results are. So, I think we're working on it. I think we'll always work on it. I can't imagine that we'll ever complete that. I did kind of in jokingly say like maybe Dr. Switting would be completed, right? You know most of it. More than anybody else, maybe, but yeah, certainly a lot.
well, what do you think?
I think you covered it amazingly well. Let's say just from a student perspective, I learned something new with these board meetings every time I'm here. It's great, seeing something, seeing each of the presentations, to see something new that I had no clue whether it was happening or how it happened. So, yeah, I agree with Director Ray. It's just kind of an ongoing thing.
Erica, thoughts?
Yeah, we were talking about, I think we kind of skipped over that first part about best practice. We read through it, but we focused on the variety of formats, like each board member connecting with, maybe with staff, parents, students in the community. So we were like, okay, are we connecting with all of those, that, the staff, parents, students, and community? So I think we were talking about how do we connect? So.
And as much as, it's true, because this is it's about high expectations, but it's communicating that and connecting with people about that and hearing them. Certainly community voices and student voices, and it will thinking for maybe next year, the staff virtual voices, it was just a replacement since we couldn't meet in person, so we can revisit that for the future. But we used to, pre-COVID, we would bring cinnamon rolls to the staff rooms before school, and we would just sit in the staff room, myself and board members, and other district staff would just ask us questions. And
I went to one of those before COVID shut everything down.
yeah.
So that sounds very familiar.
I'm sure there's cinnamon rolls. I must have made one, but I can't necessarily recall which one.
There were a lot of cinnamons.
I like that idea of the cinnamon roll for the fall.
Definitely.
That's true. So I think definitely we're off the mark. We're off and we're working on it. Always.
One thing I thought of when we were looking at this one was something that helped me when we first started being on the board, Mike and I. Was when students did a presentation at board meetings, and we could kind of see it in action. Teachers would share what they're teaching and how they're teaching it, and the students would talk about what they're learning and how they're learning it, like
Those are great.
growing things on Mars or
Yeah.
things like that. So that I think was really helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can come back later.
Those couple
Yeah.
of movies.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
We
those
always
first
have-
two were just dynamite.
Yeah, and that was, we always had a student presentation at the board meeting, until we.
Until we kind
So we're getting back to a place that happened again.
That would be great.
Okay, next one is 3, and this one has to do with the budget process. So what are people's thoughts about this one?
Type. It's
Oh.
distracting. It's an old year. So this is during the 20.
Oh, okay, so
So someday we should probably update that.
I've corrected it 3 times.
Does it stick?
It's stuff in the
Okay.
past, maybe.
Watch, we're gonna get out of the
Maybe it just
past
needs to be
here.
refreshed.
I saw that, but
And there it is. Oh, wait, no.
No, that's the wrong one. Just hang on, hang on.
Well, it's probably in like 100 different places too. And on the website.
Okay.
Okay, so then I have another thought that we can't force the public to give input. We can give them lots of information, but we can't make them speak to us and give us their thoughts. But we can increase opportunities for them to give input.
Right.
So I thought maybe we could support increased opportunities.
Right, it does say, let's see, during the budget process by participating.
The first sentence says we'll support increased public input.
Okay. I think the idea of having made road shows and the videos is that there'd be different ways that people could see the information and respond to it. And I mean, I definitely think we have work to do on this. Like Gina was telling me today that the presentation she gave recently, if she had videotaped it, which we did on Zoom, but I mean truly videotaped, she could have chunked it and created little chunks of information about the budget and post it. But then to have that interaction when people, kind of like I don't know how we do with it, like a chat, you know.
Like a TikTok.
Interactive.
Facebook
I was
Live.
gonna say Facebook Live, TikTok Live.
There we go.
Something
yeah.
like that.
Use
Technology to share
YouTube.
information. Well,
Did you
can we
hear
do-
that, Gina?
Can we do a YouTube Live because we
Yeah.
have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, and we've done Facebook Live. When we
Yeah.
did when we did for our P and O and bond and capital levy, we went out to the community and did
I
those.
think there's still a lot of people that don't understand how school district budgets work, and they don't understand that taxpayers are the only way. It's not like we get money somewhere else. We don't like collect it from
Right.
something.
And we're not fully funded.
And we're not fully funded by the state, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. And just being able to share more of that information more often in small bite-sized pieces. Just, do you know where your school district budgets get started? Does anybody know? And I wonder if it could be like a coffee chat, like even if it was questions collected from the community and then like one person reading the questions while Gina answers that over.
Oh,
That's probably fun. Yeah.
We've had some pretty good budget years the last number of years, and when you're expanding and not contracting, you probably tend to have a lot less questions.
Right.
I anticipate that we'll be a lot more involved in the next year
Yeah.
or two. or
Yeah.
three.
Well, that it's worrisome,
Yeah,
to
for
a lot
sure.
of folks, I think, and
For sure. I mean, it's the fact of the matter, right?
yeah.
When the budget's a little bit leaner than it was, and things are going to be more scrutinized,
Yeah.
and rightfully so, right? And
It was interesting when public comments came out in some of the news articles about some of our local school districts that didn't pass their levies,
Right.
about how much misinformation is pervasive about where schools get money from. Well, they should have just lived within their means.
it's incredibly complex, and I know
Yeah.
that we are, should have more than a basic understanding of it, but I think it's incredibly hard to do.
Yeah.
Until, you live and breathe it for so long that it's not easy.
Well, I mean, they have their own budget to deal with. too,
Right.
That's been a
Right.
struggle, then to think of a system this large,
Right.
and to
Right.
understand the mechanisms. Yeah.
Because, I'm like, because, it is more than just, it's like from taxpayers essentially, but, it's not just local, it's some federal money and so on, and right, and, you
Yeah.
can spend some on this thing, you can't spend it on there, so if you have a lot of extra money in this bucket, that's great, but you can't spend it on this other thing. And that is not how most of our personal budgets operate.
Or regular businesses either.
Right.
You get revenue and you get expenses. You
Right.
don't usually have all these weird.
Yeah.
Strange.
It's
So I would definitely say we are.
working on it.
So we're recording videos. I want to see
Yeah.
that expand.
Yeah, she's working on that with Gary. I told.
Oh, good. That could be super fun.
She's, Gary will help her.
It could be brownies
Yeah.
and budget.
And I didn't know if we
Brownies
need to
and
do any
budget.
other language presentation information.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Oh,
Whether
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
No, not just,
Translated.
not just
for sure.
Spanish or,
No,
I'm sure
absolutely.
that's our predominant one,
Absolutely.
but whatever ones are.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this one has to do with looking at student data, disaggregated, understanding, are there gaps? Are certain student populations not being afforded access to some of our programs? And we did a good presentation of information last night.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
great.
excellent. And so that's one great example. I know that Carrie Henderson-Burke has shared assessment data earlier in the year, but I don't know, what are other thoughts? Working on this, right?
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely steps in the right direction.
Okay. The fifth one is that the board would participate in the Voices activities, and really it's being engaged, like even on visiting the schools and those attending events and those kinds of things. So we could expand this. And keep in mind, this stems from the self-assessment. So somewhere when we assessed ourselves, this was probably an area that needed some more improvement. But what is your thought on this one?
Like we have a very busy working board and it has much opportunities in their own personal lives to participate in all the different options. And I think I struggle to get each board member to participate in at least two of them. But it's hard. So I don't know, I've been to at least two, but I don't know if everybody else has been to at least two.
Yeah. I want to feel like I have been. but
I
I'm
think
I think all three of us have been to
Yeah.
at least two. Yeah, so we've rocked this bowl.
Yeah.
you did.
I think it's, I mean, I think, when you sign up and want to be a school board member, I think many things are not apparent initially. to people, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know it wasn't to me, like, I was
What's in
just
the
like,
job
oh,
description, this
like,
part?
oh, I gotta show up in a meeting like twice a month, great, and they're like an hour long,
Okay,
I'm in,
right,
right? That
Right.
seems, no, I guess it's a little more than that.
there's more, yeah.
So I think that it's challenging for some folks, right? And they just have other commitments and as a young board, and it's hard to, it's hard to do that, for sure,
Mhm. There's a good balance of
for sure.
reality and what our goals are.
Yeah,
And yeah, I like I said, we have a young board, and a lot of people have kids still at home, so.
no, it takes a commitment too, I mean, when you start, you think, oh, okay, maybe this will be however many long you might take to do that, or, all these things that you need to incorporate that weren't there before presented the opportunity to be a school board member. And you're like, oh, how do I incorporate all of this stuff into lives and everything else is going on, but before that.
Mhm.
And different folks have different schedules to be able to afford that.
Makes me think of what was our reasoning behind picking this as a goal? Or were we trying to be more engaged in our community? Were we trying to listen to more people that we don't always get to listen to? Were we trying to talk to our friends, neighbors, coworkers? Were we trying to just listen more? And are we doing that naturally without actually maybe going to a community voice or student voices?
Right.
Does each board member go out of their way to listen to people that have different opinions and have different perspectives? Are we getting feedback to help us make better decisions? So I don't know. I'm just thinking about maybe not everybody's going to those things, but are they engaged? Are they listening?
Right, I mean, you could be engaged in other areas, yeah, for sure.
I think it's a real possibility that every board member can connect at least twice in one of these activities, because we can do like community voices is on Zoom,
Right,
know.
yeah.
So I think that, I think it's possible. And
Yeah.
that student voices is harder because it's during the workday.
Sure.
So that is
Just
good.
take,
I think we are definitely doing, I think I see commitment to try to get to these, you know, and I understand that people have work, you know, and
Yeah.
it makes it hard. Definitely we're working, going in the right direction for this. It's just, there might be ways that I can schedule, maybe I only schedule community voices on particular days instead of, you know, we're trying to make it so that it varies days,
Mhm.
so that it, maybe some parents would come.
Right.
So we're kind of looking at the big picture of that.
Well, and I just had this thought, you were talking about scheduling, so the student voices, I've seen them a lot on Fridays, but then looking at the early release Fridays last night, you know, we were absent. I was like, maybe we need a day where there's more students present, I don't know.
Sure.
Today we had our student voices today.
Oh, okay.
And it's so strange, Erica, that I said it, because when I left, I go, oh, I feel like this must be Friday, because we usually do student voices.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, so that is for, I think that's it. So now on the superintendent goals, what I'd like you to do is turn it over, and just what I would appreciate is if you just kind of read through it and just, you know, look at it and say, oh yeah, I've seen evidence of that, or no, what has she been doing, or, you know, just if you have seen evidence of some of this. And, I mean, I know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
an idea just came to me. Where,
Board goals.
yeah, just about the board goals, and just we were talking about
Okay.
commitment board. And I know that, I mean, I'm sure there's very diligent individuals who do a ton of research before they sign up as a candidate to be school board member. And I know others do less, I would think. But maybe we could, as a team, come up with just a short little document that might, you know, we won't spend much time this week to look at it, but hey, this is kind of the general commitment level, you know, overview of, you know,
The video, remember the video?
I spend,
I think we did,
you know, it's not just a school board meeting, it's
Right.
an agenda planning meeting plus a special session plus the student voices, right? I mean, it's four-ish
What do
meetings
you
a month,
expect when you're running?
you know, at different times, you're, you know, so that, you know, the commitment is this.
Right.
You know, we would encourage you to be an active participant, plus, you know, visiting the schools, plus, you know, whatever, so it's not just this, anyway.
That's a good.
Yeah,
that's
great
a good idea.
The video, I think
Yeah,
there
we
was
could
one
do the video.
person, one board member that we made, I mean, it was like scheduling it,
Right.
Gary did. What the idea was for the board, for the community, to understand what the board roles were.
Sure,
And so we took every standard in the WASDA standards, and each board member introduced, you
Yep.
know, and how to apply to their job. And so we still have, that, but we need to renew it because we're new people.
Okay.
Yeah. maybe just
Okay,
sort of- yeah,
So just take about 5 minutes. I don't think it will take as long. Just kind of read through each one, and then we'll.
Okay.
Same team members.
Yes, unless you want to shake it up a little bit.
We can only shake it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you're good. Ray.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see any.
I can't imagine doing much better.
Yeah.
No matter.
Definitely does that. I did. For sure, yes. Where we need to be.
Oh, we just send them there. Listen to me. That'd be a lot of work.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. It would be a lot of work. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
We've done that.
It's pretty, seems like it's pretty frequent, I gotta imagine it's pretty close to what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Anything not being done
Yeah.
there.
So, Yeah, I would think so, yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen Shay pop on
I'm just not really sure what.
again?
Yeah, so,
They haven't heard from
yeah,
her.
I just don't have it, I don't have the information.
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of sounds similar. So,
Yeah. Yeah, just the engagement with all the other stuff, I'm just not sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Kind of getting nice after that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm myself was a member of phase 4, being a board member, so then like,
I do this too.
I attend when I can. Also, ACE meeting, I'm not
Yeah.
like
You go to Rome?
ACE.
How was it?
It's good.
Good. Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had to get different afterwards.
Okay. Oh, after?
Like, what I think I weren't already.
Something more substantial than
I'm not raising me.
Right, right. Gotcha.
Right. You would see it if I'm not- Right. You
I was
wouldn't
really
know.
early, so.
Well,
Understood. You guys didn't do general
Mhm.
planning?
Okay.
We did.
Oh.
Really good there to go.
Oh,
Stuff
yeah.
in the translation.
Gotcha. Where'd you guys go to dinner?
I think dinner.
Oh, you cooked?
Yes.
Nice. How many people did you invite? Like about?
Probably.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. Do you guys do the demo thing or?
No, it's
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Nice. Your plans for next year to improve the dinner, maybe or whatever?
Right,
More-
right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now we know.
They kind of have that they tell me to give us a date.
Awesome. I heard they put those on
Right,
there,
yeah.
you know,
It's all part of that extension.
The last high school dance I was at, I chaperoned it. Did literally to do 0 something.
Really.
Yeah.
All right, let's, I know you may not have finished, but let's just come back and, so on the first goal, and you notice the colors. I know Gary thought.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
he design this?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, I did it on purpose, just to
Okay.
honor my,
Oh,
I know, but I should do the Wildcats
I
next
feel
time.
slighted whenever, because I mean, it's
I
really the
know.
first one.
I know, that's true. But anyway, I should alternate. I should do WSU and I should do the Huskies, because I have a,
Yeah,
I
wow.
am a connect, there's a connection there for sure. Okay, the first one is, has to do with board relationships and keeping the board informed and using all kinds of ways. Anything you can think of.
Mhm.
I would hope that you all would agree that I work on that.
Yeah.
I
much so.
can't imagine much
Around it,
more.
yes.
I'm not sure.
Any gaps at all in that one. I
No.
emailed every single one. Yeah.
Well, that's good. But there's others that I haven't thought of yet. So
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
I think it's good.
Okay, the next one is, this is the meat of really our work. You know, this is the area that, you know, it really takes, it's just, it's not me, it's the whole team. It's all of us. So some of this is that I do it together as a team. So for example, you know, working with Carrie, you know, like making sure that we have the right data, you know, working with both Carries. But this has to do with making sure that we are really truly measuring our growth and progress towards the strategic plan. One of the things 6 years ago when I came aboard, there weren't metrics or measurements for the goals in the strategic plan. And so when we went through the process for 1 year to look at where we're at, the data, and redo all the things that we needed to do and kind of recreate and refresh, we said it, and I said, you need to have metrics. Now, we need to get better at the metrics. You know, some of the metrics, they don't play out. Sometimes it's harder to get the data. So along the way, we've said, oh, we can't measure that very easily. So, and whatever we measure, then we're paying attention to. And in the equity cohort that Mary and I are in, Tammy Campbell mentions this, that whatever we're measuring, we'll pay attention to. So I think that last night was a, you know, good demonstration of going deeper not just being at the surface. So I want to do more of that, have the team do more of that. Because if we don't, then we really don't know what's working, what's not. Because you're not looking at the data, you don't really understand. And sometimes it's hard because different things impact that data. But if you can talk about it, it's kind of like the PLCs that we have, like the teachers and the principals, and then that's a district office. You look at the data and you figure out, wow, this worked because there was a learning that took place. This didn't, so why? Was it just the day, or was it a Friday, or whatever? Anyway, so I definitely, and this would I would keep this forever and as a goal, because I feel it's the heart of the work. The Simply Amazing celebrations, I will say I love them. They were, it was a board goal, but then the board let go of that. Not that they let go of Simply Amazing, it's just not as a goal. So I kept it. But I also have to refine some of those things, because some of the things that I enjoy doing, like all these things, voices, put some workload on some of the schools. I'm looking at different ways to do those things without impacting our leaders and our teachers, with me constantly saying, pick some people for me. Anyway, that's goal 2. Goal 3. This is the same goal. I mean, it's goal 3, but it's in the same category because it's such a heavy category. And this is really focused on what we're trying to do as far as professional development and building the capacity. And we're working on it. We're really trying to be more coherent. And like the chart up there, we try to display what we believe the coherence is, but we have a lot of work to do, to build that capacity.
Yeah.
So,
I know when I looked at this, I don't feel like I have the information even
right.
say.
And we might think about what conference they said, sometimes you don't have to have separate goals. Sometimes you don't have to have the board goals and the student goals. We could just have joint goals. Like the board goals is my goals, and we'll work on it jointly. So we can talk about that in August, because we might not have to separate them. It's just kind of started that process, and now we might evolve. The next one is the family community involvement, just engaging at the deepest level and the broadest level possible, because I strongly believe in it. And I know that we're working on this, as you know, but we always have to change it up a little bit. But somebody made a good point, though, in when I did a 360 for my evaluation, and I'll just share this. They said, what do you do with that information? How do you really use it, to make change? It's a good point. And I will say we do look at it, but we've got a lot of it. So what is the system to kind of refresh ourselves on where that is? So.
Right.
There's some consistent trends. It's
Oh, yes.
nachos.
I know.
Stuff.
Yeah, we can almost answer the question.
We can almost answer for them.
Yeah. All right, so next, thank you for that. We have a policy which is 1820, and procedure 1820P, and it requires us to assess ourselves as a board team, individually and collectively, and then we develop our goals. We can get better, and for the one purpose, to support the kids learning, the students learning. So this is about the self-assessment, and this is just a quote. We do not learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on our experiences together and how we can get better at our work. So the policy itself requires, and these align with the WASDA standards. So there's 5 WASDA standards, and there's 5 in our board policy. So we're required to assess ourselves in, the first one is providing responsible school governance, district governance. And then the next one is setting and communicating high expectations for student learning and clear goals and plans. Some of these will pop out, like we've had goals in these areas. You put that on the sheet, and they are in those areas. 3, create conditions district-wide for student and staff success, which we've been working on, especially going through a pandemic, trying to figure out how to keep kids engaged in learning during this time. 4, hold the school district accountable for student learning expectations. And 5, engage local community and respect the values and expectations they hold for their schools. Those are the standards. And under the WASDA has, and this is online, and I think when you first come on board, you get it, but then you don't really understand. So it's nice once you are on the board a little bit, you begin to further understand that. So the next step for us as a board, and this is our assignment, and we've done this annually since I've arrived, is that we use WASDA's self-assessment survey. It's an electronic tool. And you each, I think we send you the link. Either we send you, I'm pretty sure we send you a link, but because Debbie, I'll have to help you. We'll send that out to them. So we need you to complete that, or it would be helpful to complete it by June 30th. Why June 30th? Because July is typically when people are, at least around here, are taking some time. And then when we come back in August, I will pull the results together and have ready for the August time, the collective assessment. So you individually, students as well, and myself, we all go in, and I'll show you, this is kind of what it looks like. I brought, so this is when we're all done with it, we get something like this. And this shows that we've done it in 2016, 17, 21, 20, 19, 18. I think we did it before, but this one just has this. And what happens for each one of the assessments, it prints out after everybody's put in there, where we're excelling, where we're okay, where we need some work, where there's no evidence. So, and sometimes it's hard to, you read that and go, I don't know. So sometimes you do, but like, I don't know, that's okay. But, and then we have for each indicator for the 5 standards, we'll get results. So we will do it individually. And I know Mike and Mary have done this, and you might have some words of wisdom. I have to do. And how did you do it last year?
I don't believe so.
Well, this year you have this opportunity. We do, because we do send it to the student advisors, and you might have to work. Well, actually, it should be Maddie, but she might be, I don't know. We might have only one.
Okay.
And we'll see. But anyway, we'd like it done by June 30, so that we have time to pull it together. Questions? Okay. It's really a good thing. And then we'll develop our goals. And we already asked you questions about that. In your packet is there's proposed regular board meetings. Whoops, I'm gonna do great. Proposed one piece, stable piece papers, the regular board meetings.
Okay.
The second one has the regular board meetings. It has the yellow, well, they both have yellow, but it has the shaded dates are study sessions or special, like joint meeting or community voices are blue. So what what I'm looking at is trying to align it better with people's work schedules, at least for Mike Kingman right now. His Mondays are his only days, so I changed all of the study sessions to Mondays next year. And we moved ACE, the Advisory Council for Education meeting that used to be always on the first Monday forever. We moved it to Thursdays. And the district community equity team is on Wednesday. The study sessions we publicize them right before, so sometimes they're fluid. So I'm just proposing this because right now that's where we're at. Now, if a work schedule changes in the future, we can certainly readjust. But in the past, we've been used to doing in September or August, January and May, full days. We can't do that. So we did it August 15th as a full day. And hopefully, if anybody's on vacation, maybe they can take a break and get on Zoom.
There you go.
Maybe they're on vacation for a reason.
It could be, but at least for part of it, maybe. But
I'm
anyway,
scheduled for that date.
What?
The photographer is scheduled for that. So the study sessions and voting are at 5,
Oh, there's,
and then the school board.
We were
Which
gonna
is-
start them early and.
Yeah, which is okay. I just
you want
wanted to
that?
make a note of that.
We talked about 5, we talked.
Does that work?
Yeah,
Yeah, 5 o'clock works for me.
yeah,
I
it
just-
came in the update, but.
I just noted that it was,
Oh, I'm sorry.
regular. I must have missed it. I read the update.
But the thing is it's been a while. I mean, the challenge, the reason why we wanted to keep it the same is so people in the community say, oh, yeah, it's Monday night, it's study session. But on the other hand, you know, there's other, like, other school districts, other entities that have their study sessions even in the day, you know, so if,
Right.
Well, the study sessions can be longer, like last night it was, a
right,
couple of hours, 2.5 hours and.
so it gives us opportunity. to- So those are the major changes. Mondays, 5 o'clock. I think we had put on here that we changed it to Lincoln Room because we felt that it worked well last night. And I think we've got the owl under control, or the owl's got us under control.
I held both
meetings.
venues right now
Yeah.
for all dates.
5, okay.
until-
What we're talking about for the Pat Lobby,
Right, yeah, this seems great.
Yeah,
but in August, though, we would meet at the airport conference room because then we would go have lunch. So there'd be maybe 2 times that we would go to different venues, but the rest of it would be here.
Okay.
So then what'll happen, so as we.
So I'm not, since we're on, I mean, I'm just thinking ahead, like, you know, if you're looking at dates and granted it's more than a year away, but knowing what I know now, I mean, I could not guarantee being at the August session.
not for
August
2023.
21.
Meaning 2023?
Uh-huh.
We could probably adjust
Okay.
it sometime between.
Yeah, we
now and
can-
No, that's fine. I mean, I just, we were talking about it and it's draft. And I just, you know, I'm assuming, I mean,
It's draft. It's
knowing what I know now, I'll have the same conflict
That you have
Yeah.
this time.
that I have
Because
this
there's
time.
college and things, which is a great conflict to have, but we can adjust.
Right.
We might do it a week early. If we can, meet with the board prior to the start of school, it's good. We've always met after school starts and it'd be nice if you were right in the flow of the beginning of the school year.
Totally get it. It's just,
Now, the topics for the study sessions, we really, we have like as a system, we're working on universal design for learning. We have our goals and those things. So we want to focus on that. We have some regular things, but I have a document that I kind of map out for every study session, what the topics are, and we can talk more about that. For example, for August, we have down, well, we have the photos now, but we have the setting the stage for the new school year, the board professional development plan. So we have this plan, but what are the topics do we want to know more about or engage in? We review the self-assessment results. We're going to have Carrie come back and do some equity engagement. And we'll probably look at our results of our equity audit that is out there right now and establish our new goals. And so we've got to test that.
Awesome.
Okay, so just that's information. Okay, so now, I will say before we go to break, is I do have, if you're interested, I have the status of who's attended what, each board member, like for the OPMA, so that's required. And then, so if individuals want to know, like, what you've done, then.
So we're all in compliance, we've done all our required things.
It's looking pretty good because fortunately Erica and Mike Keenan went to the annual conference. And by the way, I really, it's be important if we can all go to the annual conference.
Yeah.
It's in Spokane,
Oh,
Yeah,
in November.
November.
yeah. Are those dates on there?
Yeah,
Perfect driving. Monday.
I think they're on.
Are they on here?
Oh, you
Okay.
fly.
Oh, you could
There's this thing
fly.
called there.
Could fly.
And it's
only like
It
an
really
hour.
can be.
It's new, but it's,
I
you
heard
know,
it's nice.
it usually works pretty well.
And 10 past? Okay, I see,
Yes.
November 16th to 19th. Yeah.
Are they on?
Yes, it should be.
Is it on the special?
Oh, there it is.
It should be blue.
Perfect, yep.
Yeah, because it's there that we actually will be able to attend some of those modules. And I will say the equity module, the one we attended, you'll be able to take that 2-hour session there. And, yeah, and plus it's great networking. But we want to, whenever the announcement comes out that they're gonna, it's registration, we want to be, Debbie's awesome. She gets us right in there at the front of the line. We want to make sure that we.
When does that come out?
everything.
And it's Thursday
I haven't seen the,
through
I haven't seen
Saturday.
registration.
It'll come to you.
Wednesday,
Usually,
first,
yeah.
it's usually not.
Yeah, that's
Thursday.
pre-conference. You
So-
don't have to do
I have to do
pre-conference.
the Thursday.
WSU
Friday.
family weekends and weekend before.
Some, like, for instance, in Bellevue, it's a different sequence than it is over at Spokane. It's like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think in Spokane.
Yeah, so you can travel home on Sunday, yeah, or Saturday, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, yeah. Perfect.
All right, so it's, Mary, I can give it back to you for a moment.
Okay, so if we are done discussing our board goals or superintendent goals and our meeting plans for next year and everything else we've discussed, and we are ready for a break.
But probably not till 7:25.
Correct.
That might be-
It says come back at 7:25, but maybe we could adjust that.
You can adjust it.
You can do
You're the
whatever you like.
president.
Okay, let's do 7:15. Can we do 7:15?
Yeah, I'm good with
I'll give Sherry time. She's planning on driving over here to get to the.
I just,
Oh,
can I bring to your attention, you've missed a bullet. I missed
I
on
did.
another topic.
Oh,
Just
what did we miss?
What did we
board
miss?
professional development opportunities and plan for 22-23. That's why you're off by
Oh,
15 minutes.
Oh, and I do have that
those right
document in our packet, though I didn't, but it was in the board packet, so let me look at that.
Well, let's
Yeah, let me
look at that.
Close.
And then we'll talk about your break.
hang on.
Thank you.
That's true, but I have to get into the, I have to get into the board docs. And Debbie worked really hard on this too, so to get it just right. Okay. I'm gonna have to unshare and then probably share again. But it's weird that it's,
Is it the other computer? Share?
I know it is mine, but did we attach that to it, Debbie?
I believe so.
Okay.
That would be good, and I should, can't see for myself.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got it. So now I'm gonna stop sharing and then see if this will come up. Stop sharing. And then I'm going to find it right here. Okay, can you see it?
See it, yeah.
Nope, I didn't see it.
Let me see here. So, so what this has, so these study sessions, that's all of the Mondays.
Mhm,
Although now I noticed there's
Five.
6, yeah, we gotta change it to 5.
Sure.
We can do that. So, just didn't, just roll that over. So these study sessions are opportunities for us for professional learning and development. Then here are the onboarding trainings.
Okay.
So there's foundations of state funding, there's foundations of local and federal funding, there's deciphering district budgets and tackling financial soundness and vision aligned budgeting, and there's also the equity too, there's onboarding for equity. So that's where we have put, we wanted, if we keep that goal, you know, or we change
It's
it,
really hard to know when those are gonna be, if we're gonna be able to complete them in time for reaching that one goal.
I would say we should put that we each do at least one in a year. Make sure.
In a year, because it's hard to know exactly when they're gonna be scheduled.
Right. They will be, they, like,
Oh, you can't just go on, like I thought they were on demand.
eventually, that will,
Oh,
eventually,
they're
that
not on
will be,
demand.
Right.
Oh, I'm so used to on demand.
I'm sorry.
that will happen
It's
at
not
some point.
Netflix.
That will
Gotcha.
happen.
Well, that is an unfortunate.
So you have to like know when they are, sign up for
Thought
them,
we could maybe
get to
schedule
them.
one.
Yeah.
for a
And
study
then,
session.
see, that would be lovely. If there was
Would that
something
not
you
be
could just
lovely?
download and then
Right.
play,
Perfect.
plug and play. would be
So,
amazing.
and these will be at the conference too, so these will be at the,
Okay.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be convenient for sure.
for sure. And, let's see, so, for educational equity, they're coming up here, tomorrow, there's a equity conference. It's online, and so if you want to just sign up, you can go there tonight and sign up. It's 12 or 5 o'clock. Yeah.
Is it 2.5 hours for that? Or is that just
No,
an
that's
hour?
not, this is a conference. It's student voices. And it's not the 2.5 hour required. No, it's not. And then the required equity training is because of Senate Bill 5044. So initially, like I said, 2.5 hour trainings, so you have 5 hours total, must be completed once per term of the elected office. In the terms after that, then the directors are required to engage in at least a minimum of 2.5 hours training from any of the above listed 5 topics, those I just shared with you. So, and kind of keep in mind that. There's the WASDA annual conference and pre-conference, which we just talked about, November 16th through 19th in Spokane. It's in person. I don't know if they're doing the Zoom opportunity, but it's in person. The WASDA regional meetings, like the next one is the 24th. This is where within our region, directors get together and they usually have a topic or focus. Mary and I have gone to a couple with previous board members.
I don't think I've been to one of those.
It's,
Maybe on Zoom.
they have a,
I think I
on
went
Zoom
to
too.
one on Zoom.
But they usually send those out through WASDA, so you could, like,
There was one in my email inbox today, and I texted Debbie, does anybody ever go to these?
yeah, they do, and I've gone, you know,
I'm in.
there's been some that have been like in Anacortes, some have been in Mount Vernon. So there's a variety of places. And the WASDA networking calls, they're paused, but those have been very helpful. I got Erica connected just when they were almost were being paused. But it was, and they should start them up, I would think, again.
Yeah, those were great.
But
Is that
Tim,
focused on legislative action?
All kinds of things.
Okay.
so Tim Barshaw and his team through WASDA, they would start by talking about success stories. So directors or superintendents would share good news stories. And they would talk about, especially during COVID, you know, what are some of the things that we need to be aware of. They talk about legislation, types of things. They talk about things that the board just needs to be careful and understand and know. So it's really directed for governance roles. This legislative conference, I mean, we've attended it, we've had representatives there every year, and I've gone to it for over 20 years. And this time it depends on when the legislature is going to be coming together. And so this next February, it will be the 26th and 27th. That's a Monday, I mean, a Sunday and a Monday. This year, it was on Zoom, so it was great.
You should go.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have a day on the Hill, so you can, the Sunday is really when you learn about what are the hot topics, the legislative hot topics, and you actually hear from a few legislatures. Chris Rydell usually is there, sometimes the governor, but it's really about the people in the field talking about what are the hot topics. And then the next, if you happen to stay overnight, and I don't always do it because sometimes we have a board meeting or such, then you can go and meet with legislators next day. But what I have been encouraged to do is not just that day, we should be connecting with our legislators all the time, you know, throughout the year. But it is an opportunity. And then the next one is the national conference, which we have not, since I've been here, we haven't attended it because just being good stewards of the money. And really, WASDA does a great job of providing us with trainings and information. But it is, the board can choose to plan to go to that. It's kind of on the other side of the United States.
There's airplanes.
There's airplanes.
It was in California this year.
I know, and that, see, a couple of years ago, the board at then said, well, we won't go now because it's on the side of the United States. Let's go when it's on, but then it wasn't the right timing for us because it just, and stuff.
I can tell you, I did listen to the Everett School Board meeting a couple of weeks ago, and they've been at the annual conference in California, and some public people were very happy with them spending money and attending that, and how much everything costs. It's all public record.
Right. Yeah, we did have a request to ask if we were going from the public. I know we met somebody in the public and said this. I just know that the whole intent here is not to go on a trip. The whole intent is we just want to learn. And if we can get that learning right here in the state of Washington, then that's good. And then we also have scheduled the joint meeting with the city and the hospital districts. And it's set for January 30th. And we didn't do it this year just because
It was crazy
just
at that time.
remember that was when we had a lot of COVID.
That's when like the spike happened.
So, but we hosted, so we're up to host it. And so what happens with that is I meet with the entities, the lead people, for each of those organizations, and we plan the agenda. Basically, we will look at what we were going to do last January and see if it's appropriate for this. And then we host it, and it's usually at the BPAC, unless we have to do it on Zoom for some reason. So that's what we have. These are great opportunities. There's a lot there. We don't have to do it all for sure, but we do need to stay connected just to grow ourselves as a team.
I also think we should probably look at moving the February 27th board meeting.
Yeah,
To allow for conflicts.
because there is a regular school. That would be,
Oh, there is one 27.
I would, definitely be on board for that. That's a long drive. We might not make it back by six, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could fly, but
From Olympia to
yeah.
Arlington, I'm sure there's a little airport.
There is.
Right around here.
But-
There is.
but the weather at that time of year is
Iffy.
potentially,
Okay, well, I mark that as a potential.
yeah.
All right, good point. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to go back to this,
Okay, so then we go back to the agenda. We
Yeah.
covered everything in our,
which is this.
I mean, I could look it up just as good, but maybe I'd be interested to know about the national parks, just more information about it.
like, is there differences between?
I got no idea.
Would they be a monumental difference between what we planned and what's that?
Well, I
Right.
mean, you do get, I've heard good things about it.
I mean, it's certainly,
Yeah.
conferences and networking are an important part of infrastructure, governance and stuff.
Okay, so Mary, President, that
Not knowing what is
we
going
can
on
take a
there.
break and then go right into executive session.
Okay, if that's okay with you, we can skip a break. If that works for everyone. And then we can recess if that,
That's fine, and we're gonna go down to the boardroom.
okay.
We just need to notify the public since we're
Okay, so I could
online.
read my script then, if everybody's in agreement with that.
It's just, we need to pick a time because once you pick a time,
Oh, that will be back.
there
Um,
until that time.
My script says 60 minutes, so if I say,
Yeah, but what you could do is you could say 30 or 40 minutes, and then if we need more, we come back and tell the public.
Yeah.
So you don't have, but whatever you say, you can't go, you have to go to that point.
Yeah, it's a 60 more stuff.
I'd rather do 30.
Yeah.
let's say 30.
To 30 and add more as we need.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
very reasonable.
Okay.
Okay,
See,
well, with the board's feedback, we will now recess this meeting so that the board may convene an executive session to review the performance of an employee. I estimate that the executive session will last approximately 30 minutes, during which time no final action will be taken. Following the executive session, this special meeting will be reconvened for the sole purpose of adjournment.
So I'm gonna put on this slide, it's 7:14 right now, and I'll put it as 7:45. Right.
Oh,
Change it to
Change it
7.
to 7.
Oh, 7. 7:45, and then I'll put this slide back up. So,
And then it'll stay broadcasting for 30 minutes.
okay, so I think we're set.
And then where do we go?
We go to the
To the
board.
board.
meeting.
Boardroom.
yay. We did
And
school.
I'm bringing my phone here. So we're gonna call.
We did school, am I right, Leslie?
Okay.
Sherry, here's this for executive session.
We decided to put it on speaker because it might be faster.
Profile.
Thanks for joining us
Yeah,
tonight.
thank you.
Good-
I'm
good
doing-
feedback.
You are dedicated and committed.
Good luck in any finals.
Yeah, get some homework done and don't get COVID. I hear it's going around.
Am I leaving this folder or taking it with me?
I think it's totally up to you.
All right,
You like the folder, it's got stuff in it, go for it.
perfect.
Have a good night, Amy.
Thank you, you too.
more time.
Oh, actually, I need you to. Come to. But I think we have to announce it. All you have to do is put it on the screen.
That is kind of our next.
I'll just wait. I changed it to 8:15. It's just us two. Yeah, there wasn't anybody there. And so I shut down the projection because I knew we didn't need that. And just as long as we have something that, I almost thought I'd take the owl down, but I thought as soon as I do that.
Yeah, I know,
accidentally
just-
disconnect, so
We'll see if they can,
knocked on the door and they were,
you know, it's still recording, right? It doesn't show recording.
yeah, on my screen it says live YouTube.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's just showing the screen. And the owl could record her voice, you know, the voice and the owl. The owl is still there,
It's amazing.
but it's just not projecting because I don't have the projector on, but it's on the, it says clerk one and it's got a picture of me and you there. So So I'll come back and reconvene. I'll see what time we came back. And when we. Did you recognize everything on the agenda for tomorrow or for Monday?
Except for some of the things that have all the pieces too.
Yeah. I think the softball trip is the only thing that isn't. But I put the documents on. I can't put the documents on. I merely signed it and the DocuSign came back. Oh, maybe it is, yeah. Yeah, I think it's. We were talking. Yeah. Very news. It came back. But then Eric rejected it. I went back to Holly, so I can't, put it back together. Yeah. You know what they're gonna do for the last recognition?
As far as what I'm not sure what the plaque, what I was thinking is, you know, similar to the award, I'll have Brian read. Brian read Corey's and Carrie Carl's. But they're gonna get a certificate on the plaque after that Thursday. So we're just trying, this is a public, you know, acknowledgement. So I can just. If I get your additional business that I'll receive, you know, after Thursday. At the arts banquet.
Let me see if I can get something. for this.
No, I'm just thinking maybe, the easiest part of my day. Hey, guys, take it. It's 8:15, I have put 8:15.
All right, we're gonna, welcome back. I don't see anything on the screen, but are we still broadcasting?
Yes, we are.
Well, welcome back. Do I have a script for coming back, or do I just say, now we've returned from our executive session? And it is 8:15,
And I would love a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So move.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. Can we? Mr. Stairs, can we call for a vote, please? Sure. Director Ray,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
I.
President Levesque, aye. Director Knapp, aye. All right, meeting is now adjourned. Thank you all for coming and have a great night. We will see you on Monday, May 23rd, here at the district office at 6 p.m. Have a great night.
Yay.
Thank you.
It's the
Yeah, the
stairs.
stairs are ridiculous.
I ran
About a wooden building, I
I can run 60 miles, but I can't